welcome to another episode of Top Lines and Tails, your weekly livestock podcast. And as always, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Harbro, for their continued support. This week on Top Lines and Tails, we go to the very north of Scotland to Kenny Sutherland from Sibmister Mains. Kenny, welcome to the podcast.
Hello there. Happy speaking to you. Thank you.
And Kenny, this podcast is called Characters in Livestock, and you're a character that's been around livestock all your days. And
that's right.
The farm up there, Sibmister Mains, and you've got Stainland Farms as well there. So how long has the family been up there?
Oh, a lifetime.
Okay.
A lifetime. My father was here before me, actually.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What size of farms are you farming up there now? I know you've got more than one.
We're farming at 2,000 acres.
All right. Okay. And some good land up there on that north coast as well.
Yes. There's a lot of good land. Yeah. Not what you crop all the time, but it's good land, grazing land, everything else.
A beautiful location there, looking over the Pentland Firth there. On a good day, you see it the Scrabster, would you?
On a good day, you can see Scrabster, you can on a Hoy, you can see Orkney Islands, everything.
Not always a good day up there, though, Kenny. That's the thing. Not always a good day of weather.
No, always not. But we've been here all our life, and we're not managed to survive.
and the name Sutherland, some of the historians there, would your family date back to the original Sutherlands there, from the clan Sutherlands at Skelburb Castle?
For that, I would not like to say Andy if it was or not.
Okay.
No, it could be, yeah.
Because I know the Lord Duffus.
Certainly, I mean, my family just now. I've got my two sons and their two wives and family. We've been there a long time,
Yeah. Well, as I said, the Sutherlands there, the Lord Duffus had a bit of a tussle with the Jacobites, I think, going back in the 18th century down there in Sutherland. So,
thanks, but I wasn't about then.
You weren't about then, no.
No.
And as you said, you got your son Stephen and Kenny both at home.
Both at home, and both married. And Fiona is married to Kenneth, and she has three of her family. She's a vet.
Uh-huh.
Amy is 9, Jack is 7, and Tom is 4.
Right.
So they're interested in livestock and everything else too. They're keen when there's a show they want to come too. So
that's good to see a younger generation coming on and with a bit of interest, isn't it?
It is. There's no doubt about that, Andy. Yeah, but it's like everything else. It's getting folks to be interested in all these things.
Yeah, absolutely. I know 2 or 3 friends of mine that are in the similar. Or John Scott, you'll know, there at Fair, and has got his youngsters coming into the farm, and it gives you something to extend the farm and go for really when you put the next generation forward. Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, but saying that, there's we've a lot of farming people up in our area. I mean, their sons are going and doing something else because it's an easier life and everything else. But we can't blame them, if they do have to go that way. This is the thing.
No, absolutely can't. There's a lot more lucrative industries, as you said, and a lot more places they can earn more money and less work.
This is the thing. I mean, I know it. I was speaking to some Orkney people, and they're saying in the salmon farming in Orkney, they're making a lot more money there than what they would do as a farm worker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
but it's just life we got to get on with, and that's it.
It's evolution, isn't it, Kenny, really? I mean, each generation will do something different. They'll bring a different slant to farming. And years ago, we just put cows out there and earn the money. Nowadays, there's other things to earn the money out of it within the farm, isn't there?
Oh, there's no doubt about that. I mean, it's like, I know we have sort of diversified ourselves. Actually, we have holiday pods now, and they're a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
People come in for weekends, and there's hot tubs with them all, and everybody enjoys all that sort of thing, and social life, and that's it.
I've seen them on the internet. Your the retreats, I think you call them. Is it Fiona that runs those? They certainly look beautiful.
I know. Well, where they are, when I left the school, first of all, that's where we used to lamb the sheep, but now the pods are there instead.
They probably earn more money than lambing sheep, I'm sure.
Well, it probably they do, and they're enough. No doubt about that. But it's just life moves on. You just can't change, sit back.
That's exactly that.
I'm afraid.
Yeah, exactly that. I know you've expanded and extended your farming enterprise, and I'll talk about that in a second. But just back to those pods there. You also have something called the North Coast 500, which goes pretty much past your door. And the folks,
it does.
The folks listening to this podcast, the North Coast 500 is the main road that goes from Inverness right up around the north coast there and back down to the bottom of Loch Lomond. It's a 500-mile drive, and it's a beautiful road there. But hell, you've got a lot of tourists on there. It must be handy and a pain in the ass as well.
Oh, it is very handy at times. Yeah.
You get it, but there'll be a lot of traffic. People travel that, and some travel in the wrong way. Clogs the roads up a bit, doesn't it?
A lot of traffic enough, but we just live with it. I mean, it's not as. I know when I used to talk about travelling. I mean, we used to go to the Highland show every year. Travelling here a lot further, so I mean, it doesn't bother me.
Doesn't bother you, no. I imagine anybody listening to this has driven the North Coast 500, and you're the man with the tractor with the flashing lights, or Stephen's the man with the tractor and the flashing lights. They're cursing you, but you're right of passage.
I would let them pass.
No, as I said, that must help to bring in a little bit of tourism, not just to you, but into that whole North Coast area.
That's right. You're dead right. Because I mean, there's a lot of shops now have just closed down because there's nothing coming for them. That's just the thing. I mean. Mm-hmm.
No,
it's like everything. I mean, everything people can buy on the internet rather than go to a shop.
Sure. But the tourism up there. The wife and I were up there in the summer and stayed in Dunnithead and just down the road from you, and beautiful there. And I mean, those places wouldn't be kept going if it wasn't for the North Coast 500. I think.
Well, that's true, Andy. Yeah, dead right. Yeah.
And that's the thing. We've got to now. Yeah. You'll be involved in a lot of things. We've got to now try and encourage the public to come out to the countryside and get to see what we do.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, it's surprising. I know I don't do much with the pods. My sons do it, and others. I mean, the amount of folk that come out from Thurso and Wick for a weekend to the pods, enjoy a hot tub and have a beer and. Don't wreck the place, and that's it. Good.
It is good. I've spoken to one or two people on this that have diversified that same way, and they do bring in folks out of the town as well when they've no idea where their lamb comes from and the meat comes from. It's good for them to get an education in that too.
It educates them anyway, hopefully. Mm-hmm. Yeah, hopefully it does. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, and move on. Kenny, I've known you since Smithfield show. My first year in 1978 was your glory day when you won the Royal Smithfield show. It was my first year showing cattle down there. It's a long time we've known each other now.
It's a long time, right enough. It's just unbelievable, really, when you think of it.
But we go back to the shows. You show a lot of sheep locally, don't you? I mean, sheep is your probably main enterprise show. A lot of sheep locally. The Highland show forever. You've been showing it.
Highland show for young, long before Smithfield and that. My father used to show there, and in that days it was North Country Cheviot with the Border Leicester, and that was a half-bred lamb. But now we're all mostly Texels, cross ewes, and Cheviot mules. Just how things have changed.
Of course. But the showing there, as I said, your father showed them, you've showed them, your son showed them, your grandson showed them. Now there won't be many Caithness shows that you haven't been at, Kenny.
No, I don't think I will have missed a show. Actually, to be quite honest.
No, and not.
And I know I go to the Black Isle, and there's a Dornoch Sutherland show, and I've quite enjoyed that. You meet people.
You do.
That's what it's all about.
You do, and that's
like everything else.
The function of the shows and turning out. But as I said, you'll have won your share of trophies as well at all these shows. You'll never be far from the top when you don't turn up just for a day out. You turn up to win something.
Well, no. But it's like this. As I said to my sons, it's tough at the top. You got to walk. The only way one way is one down. But you can't always win. But you got to keep coming back.
Yeah, and as I said, it's mainly commercial crosses. So you're showing what you're breeding, really, aren't you? That's what you're not just out there with a few pedigrees. You're showing what you're breeding. Show your shop window.
That's right. It is really, because I know, when we going back to when we won Smithfield, we bred that beast.
Yes.
And everything else. It was a great honour to my father and my mother at that time, And we had a heifer. Under 18 months, she was champion as well that day. So, it was a great honour to breed them both rather than going paying thousands of pounds to buy them and then try and hopefully win.
Well, absolutely. I mean, nowadays there's people specialise in that, breeding these fat stock show cattle, and they're a hell of a money, aren't they? You'll know that yourself.
Oh, it's serious money, serious money.
Yeah. It's, but
it's just the way life has gone, It's different. It's as simple as that.
Cattle have changed, haven't they? Especially from back those days, the fluffy Charolais. We'll go on to your Charolais, because I know you started with Charolais very early, but the Charolais Cross Angus back then was king, wasn't it?
That's right. There's no doubt about that. Oh, no, there's no doubt about that. Yeah, but it was enjoyable times too. It was. I'll tell you, I enjoyed it. Every year I used to go, I used to enjoy it.
Yeah, fantastic. We all did. And I'm having a party next week. We're having a party with everybody that's been to Smithfield is going to dial into a Zoom call. So you're welcome to dial in there as well, and we'll have a bit of crack talking about some of those great stories down there. And,
this is it.
And just going back to yourself and the farm there, very much involved in the National Sheep Association, and you've held the Highland Sheep event, I think 2019, but you've hosted that a few times, I think, Kenny.
No, well, it's... twice maybe, I think. But no, we've enjoyed it, but it was just the weather was not very good. That was only that day. I mean, it was a shame. It was and a lot of people came, but it just was one of these things. Nothing you can do. You can't pick the weather.
No,
that,
of course. But as you said, a lot of people travelled up to you, and a lot of work for you. A lot of work for you as well, wouldn't it, to set all that up too?
Oh, it was a bit of work right enough. The place was a lot cleaner for a long while.
and picking up from that, then you run. Today, National Sheep Your Main Enterprise. You run 2,000 ewes there? It'd mainly be Cheviot crosses.
Yeah, Cheviot mules and Texel crosses and Suffolk crosses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And the Cheviot's been the mainstay of that part of the world. Well, again, forever. That's where they come from, isn't it?
It has been from. It has really. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, the Cheviot, shouldn't knock them, but there was a while there where they weren't they productive enough. I mean, there were not enough milk about them and running and that. But it's just, I think folk have learned. There's a younger generation now who are thinking that it's big heads and coarse bones is not the answer.
No, okay, and they do vary, don't they? The North Country Cheviots, of course, goes right down into the borders, but I mean, your Thursday sales
in the borders, there's a different kind of finer, kind of more not so rough, and that maybe is what we should be looking after.
It certainly is. I've done a podcast on those with Rod McKenzie on here before, and described the different types from the different areas. But the North Country, I mean, that's where the Cheviot originated from, really, in Caithness, isn't it? That's right. The home originally.
It's dead. Mm-hmm. That's right. You did right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And other ones have taken them and changed them a wee bit. But do you get to breed? I know you breed pure Suffolks and Texels. Do you breed pure Cheviots as well, or are you not in that game?
No. Well, no. We buy Cheviots to cross over, and but no, we don't breed pure Cheviots at all.
Okay, because it's got quite a lucrative market in the top end of that one. But you do breed. You do breed pure Suffolks and pure Texels, obviously, to supply your own market. But you sell a few shearlings as well, don't you?
Right. Yeah, we sell about 40 every year, but usually privately people come along and they prefer them as they're not forced. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of these. Any breed, if you're at the top, I mean, they can hardly move or breathe. It's the thing. The Texels have been unbelievable, wheezing and everything else.
And again with the geography, I suppose, geographically, if you've got sheep that bred in your area, then they're more likely to do in your area rather than going and buying sheep from down in Lanark or further away.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, there's a different climate, or different altogether. Yeah.
Yeah, certainly. And you've got some Jacob sheep now. What happens? Where did the Jacob sheep come? What happened there?
That was maybe my son was Stephen here for a while, but no, they've sort of not died way, but they're no longer here.
Okay.
We no longer use them. No.
No, but that shows, as I said, forward thinking. That shows that you're not frightened to experiment, to try something different with these.
No, there's they were written up, but no, we don't no longer use them anyway.
No. Okay, fair enough. Listen, it's nice to see them get a turn and see if they work. As I said, that's and if you learn from all these things again, trying the different ones.
Well, that's it. There's no doubt about that. You learn by your mistakes or whatever it is,
Yeah, experimentation. Yeah. And all the sheep come in be housed, I guess, for lambing up with you, are they?
Yeah, they're all housed. We house them from we'll be scanning late another fortnight's time, the first of them, and then they'll be into January scanning again, and they all go into slatted shades. We put them into.
Okay. And a bit of air over the top of them as well. I mean, it's a long time to house them for that length of time. I mean, there'll be different ways of managing that, I guess, but they need.
Well, as I said, plenty of ventilation. It's they're pretty open. It's just a cover over them, and the feed path along the front of them, and they get silage and nuts and all that.
And the shed's put up specially for that job.
It's put up for especially a sheep slatted shed. It is, So it's 4 of them.
I was going to say will be for that number of sheep, and I know we're sponsored by Harborough on this podcast, and I know you're a Harborough customer. They're feeding their Harborough buckets, the Feet and Fertility. I think David Mackenzie says
that's right. That's Mr. Mackenzie.
No, a good product though. Something you keep going back to, so it must be right.
Yeah. No, it does work right enough. Yeah. It's like when and the cows and that when we feed them super suckler as well.
Okay. We'll go on to the cows. Kenny run 400 suckler cows. Is that about right?
Yeah, that's right. But yeah.
And that's a big. That's big boys' games. Especially you got to house those as well. You must have some buildings about them.
Well. I will fear some room. Sometimes we're a wee bit tight, but it's fine. At least we'll see where they are and get on with the job.
Sure. Yeah, and they be inside already?
They've been in since mid-October, and they'll be in to May.
Right. Okay, it's a long time.
Because we just got to keep them inside. It's as simple as that. It's no use otherwise.
A long season and a lot of silage. And when are you carving those in?
We start calving them in March.
Okay.
Calving. Well, hopefully all March, April will be, and that'll be us. We'll hopefully be finished by the end of that. So, we just don't leave them any longer than that.
So you're carving them and keeping them in, basically, keeping them inside.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes for a lot more numbers as well. A lot more numbers too. And let's talk about the breeds then. Again, Simmental, I know you've experimented with a Longhorn there. Is that still about there? I've seen.
Yeah. They're still about. Yeah, they're very docile kind of animals, easy to calve, and the calves are easy fleshed as well.
Okay. And so, what would you run? A Longhorn cross Simmental cow? Would that be right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
What turned you towards the Longhorn then? I mean, it's a rare breed, as a lot of people will know, but the breed is coming on in leaps and bounds. And I've had Peter Close on this podcast before talking about them. What brought you to the Longhorns?
Well, it was actually a bull that was bred by Peter that we had originally, and he was easy and quiet and everything else, and length about him very fleshy.
Okay.
They put on flesh easily, and plus easy calving.
Yeah, okay. And
for like a heifers and that, but them all went sort of Longhorn, easy to calve. And then progeny of them go to other bulls then.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it's great to see the Longhorn being used in a commercial situation like that. And I know Peter said there's quite a few people there in the south using them as well in a different situation. It's good to see that breed has the right merits for living on that land where you are up there.
Well, this is the thing. No. I mean, in total, I think we've run 7, 8 Shari bulls, 2 Longhorn bulls. We'll have 2 Simmentals, and we were a Red Angus.
Okay. I'll go on to the Red Angus. I noticed you got into those in a second. Let's go back to the Charolais a second, Kenny. Your father would have bought one of the first Charolais bulls back in the 60s.
That would have been about at a royal show, actually. That was the first bull that came into Caithness, I think. I remember it.
Back in the 60s when they were a rare.
It was. When they were just not a rare breed, but they were just coming in then,
Sure. And made their mark. Would you be running Angus cows back in those days? Angus short-horn cows maybe before?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the Charolais onto the Angus, and you've stuck with the Charolais as a terminal sire mainly?
Yeah, this is it. It's with the cows, you get the calves mostly the ginger coloured, and they're easier to match and batch when you're selling them,
Mm-hmm. And where would you sell most of your calves then, Kenny?
They're all sold in Caithness and at Quibray.
Okay.
Marked there.
One big sell them all the stores?
We'll sell maybe most of maybe 200 and odd at the first in March.
Right.
And then maybe some later on, and then of course we'll keep our heifers. I mean, we'll pick them out before we're selling them, and then they'll get their own breeding.
Yeah, to bring your replacements. Yeah, and do you finish any cattle at all?
No. The price that they've been getting now has been very good, and I can't complain. If you start feeding nuts and everything else more to them, and it's unbelievable what they can
eat.
What they'll eat.
They've been a serious trade. Some of these cattle bought this back end there. You wonder how they're going to make a profit out of them, don't you?
Well, you just wonder, right enough. I honestly, I don't know. I just hope that things stay as they are,
Yeah. And have would you have regular customers and can you come in and buy and sell cattle every year?
Yeah, most folk coming back every year and buy them,
And they take those down south, or they finish locally?
No, they'll be Aberdeenshire. There'll be quite a lot of them in the Inverness, Ross area.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so it's the Aberdeenshire. Most of them will go, I think.
Yeah. Certainly a bit of quality. And hey, there's a good market for beef at the moment.
Well, that's the thing, but it's just they know what they're getting and what they're.
And you mentioned just now the Red Angus. I had seen that somewhere that you got a few Red Angus. Just tell me a little bit more why the Red Angus. Is that just about colour again?
Well, it's just about more colour. We usually on the Longhorn heifers, we're using fleshy heifer cows, and then we get the Red Angus on them.
Mm.
And he leaves the calves in. If you put a Charlie on top of that, then we're getting mostly producing gingery white calves, and it's a good matching. This is the thing. Besides if you've got having ones and ones and ones. I mean, we'll be selling lots of maybe 10.
Mm.
And I don't know what it was last year when we were selling our cattle. I mean, the cattle weren't all into the ring, and the boy had them sold.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, the cattle, the buyers were buying them before the whole lot were in the ring, and they're back out again.
Mm-hmm. No, because they're consistent. That's the thing, as you said, consistency with colour is important. But it's interesting to see the Red Angus, because there aren't a lot of Red Angus in the UK. It's a huge thing in the USA, as you'll probably know, but there aren't a lot in the UK. Uh-huh. Where are you finding Red Angus bulls?
No, it's in the not the border, not far from the borders actually. I can't remember exactly where he was. I'm just
probably from Jimmy Reed there. I know he's involved in the.
I think so. Maybe it was. Yeah.
Oh no, it's interesting to see. Watch that space. Really, it's interesting to see how you go on with Red Angus, because I think it has its space in the future, as you said, just by the fact it brings consistency.
Thing, I mean, we're certainly we could. Well, the bull's he's a fair age, but he's a fleshy bull, and we'll be looking for another fellow.
Okay.
Quite soon,
Oh, well, good.
I would think.
Good. And you're finding a constant supply of Longhorns as well for when you need them?
Yes, we have. Well, Stephen bought the last few. They came out of England, actually. They were somewhere I can't imagine, Yorkshire, I think it was. But they are not that easy to get, but...
Good, and as I said, the showing there, you're involved in... Kenny's, I think, president of the Caithness show. I think it's a position that Stephen has held and you've held, and you're still involved in the show committees. I know you do the Highland. We'll go on to the Highland, but still involved in show committees and such like.
Yeah, I'm honorary vice president now. We can our own local show and that. So, but I just enjoy it, and I've been a director of Highland show since the 80s, and I think I've retired now. Actually, I've enjoyed it. I tell you, I've met a lot of people over the years with it, and it's been a good thing to be. And I've enjoyed it very much indeed.
As you said, a director there, and there's a lot of directors in it, and a show that's gone in different directions over the years. You've seen changes in various things.
Well, no, there's very much so. There's changes enough. It's just like everything else is.
But you've retired now. But you still steward, or have you retired from the stewarding because you've been stewarding the sheep lines for a long time too?
I'll still do it. Right? No, I've enjoyed it, but it's just you meet people and enjoy meeting people and from different parts of the country. And it's been. I've met a lot of people, good friends over the heads. As you know yourself, family.
Yeah, but it keeps you. I mean, I'm involved in the Highland show as well, not in the stewarding side, but I've done the stewarding as well. And you need to keep when you're stewarding, you need to keep a cool head. You've got a good crowd of stewards around you. I know with Ian Beck and David Alexander, and Keith Campbell is out in there as well, I think, and Alice Shanks with you. But you need to know about how it's showing, and know how it goes, and just know how to keep a cool head in the crisis.
It's the thing. I mean, I've enjoyed it. I'll tell you, very much so. And and I've retired from being a director, but I'll keep on stewarding whatever they want me to do, and that. And I enjoy it. Plus, when you're in the inside of the ring, you see something maybe you might see from the outside.
Privileged position to see a few things. I know we had the same with the sheep shearing when it was on this last year. We got a privileged seat in the commentary box, so that sometimes you got to pull rank on people.
Well, that's it. I know it was some sheep shearing job was. Some exhibition, right enough. Good. And
do you get involved in? I mean, not a director. Do you still get involved in some of the decisions around the show now, or you just turn up and do what you're told?
No. Maybe David Alexander maybe phone me sometimes and say, "What do you think?" And I say, "Well, it's not up to me, but I would say yes or her."
Yeah.
But no.
No, did good grand, and as I said, David Alexander and that you run a great job and keep everybody right there. And I know I've had one or two people after me saying that they're trying to get other breeds to get into the Highland show, but you guys are pretty stacked out. I mean, entries are always up there.
Well, it's the thing. I know there are other breeds wanting to come, but there's just lack of space.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think there is maybe a breed, another breed might be getting in this year. Maybe I don't know, but just have to wait and see. But it's they don't want to curtail the other exhibitors. Cutting them back to maybe 4 pens or 3 pens. And it's if they want to show 10, not 10 sheep, but 7 or 8 sheep. It's tight for room, and that. This is a problem with it.
Yeah, you got to. People have got to be understanding that they don't want to take up all the pens and do give room for a few other people. No. But it's difficult, as you said, to police that really and stop them bringing, the more pens.
Well, this is the thing. I know. I mean, but there's not really when you go around it. There's not that many empty pens off when you go. Once the showing starts.
No, that's true.
Until such time as that is, I mean, they'll just have to hopefully be somebody room for them someday.
Yeah. As I said, there's people still trying to get in there, but they're just going to keep knocking on the door.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is the thing. No doubt about that.
Okay, but yeah. And we're just sort of coming to the end of a chat here, but just go back to that days in Smithfield, Kennedy. We opened up with a homebred stock called Busby. I remember him well. A sort of dark grey, 1978. My first year showing down there, and of course Harry Emsley was your brother-in-law. Didn't he show? Hasn't he shown a beast or two bred by you as well?
Yeah, he did actually after that. Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, your breeding your breeding carried on as well. And it's such a great honour, isn't it, to win that King's Cup animals that you bred yourself.
That's right. There's no doubt about that. Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, Harry would have won a few times actually. He would have won the beast. He came out of Orkney as well.
I remember the one that came out of Orkney. Yeah.
That was his name was Phil. I think I remember. Right?
There you go. There's a good memory on you. I remember Busby, but I don't remember Phil. But I know, brilliant days, and as I said, we go.
It was, I still. Well, I used to go after I stopped showing. I used to go to Smithfield quite always, every year, but just miss it. It was good company.
It was.
Everybody met. It was all very friendly and always good.
Brilliant, as I said, brilliant days, and round about this week as well. It is, and it's 19 years since the last Smithfield, believe it or not, Kenny.
19.
Yeah, I know. 19 years since the last Smithfield. 20 years it'll be next year. So, yep.
Good God.
Anyway, that's
it's hard to believe.
It is hard to believe. And do you still get a few people pick through your calves there? A few show calves still going out there? People have.
There's a few people too. Quite a few people come and they'll buy them and show them again and that. Yeah.
Good. Well,
but I was speaking to Scott Watson. He was up judging at the Christmas sale in Quibery the other day, and he used to be a great Smithfield man at one time.
Certainly did. I saw Scott at Livestock a few weeks ago. Yes, you're right. And again, a man won Smithfield in 1980 with a pure Angus. You can remember him too.
That's right. Yeah, this is it. I mean, there's all. Unfortunately, some of the people are not here now, but there's a lot of people over here who have had a real good time.
We certainly all did. And privileged to be part of it.
That's what it was all about. I mean, that's just what I shouldn't be saying that. But I mean, there's the Highland show people are saying what they don't want guest parties, but that guest party at Smithfield Club it was unbelievable.
Goes with the territory. But yeah, but what went to the kiss? Well, we're having a kiss party this week. But what went to the kiss party stayed at the kiss party. I think back then, Kenny, great days they were.
Oh, they were no doubt about that. Very much so.
Well,
yeah.
As I said, that makes us known each other nearly 50 years. Kenny makes me feel old as well, or 40 odd anyway. But been an absolute pleasure talking to you, and enjoyed your company when I've seen you. And we'll see you at the Highland show, if not before there. And keep up the good work doing that. Well, Kenny, really appreciate you taking the time to chat to me today there, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
No, at all. No, but pleasure doing it. Yeah.
Thanks for talking to us on Top Lines and Tales.
Right.
Thank you for listening to this week's Top Lines and Tales, your weekly livestock podcast. And as always, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Harborough, for their continued support. And as we head into the new year, it's a good time to think about what feed to feed those ewes pre-lambing. Harborough's premium U18 feed and the Energize Vitality buckets from Harborough are a match made in heaven to help get those ewes ready for lambing. So with good sound quality colostrum and lambs that get up and go there. So get in touch with Harborough and see how they can help you out with your nutritional needs. And find Harborough on the internet or contact your local representative there to see what they can do for you. And while you're on the internet, don't forget to join our Top Lines and Tales Facebook community there, where you'll find photographs and information to back up this and previous episodes. So get in there and join our Facebook community. And also, don't forget to follow us on wherever you get your podcasts. Click that follow or subscribe button there, so you'll always get told when the new Top Lines and Tales podcast comes out. Thank you.